and stop, and then we'll pull back to the station along the same journey. I got to put the ramp up. I'll start by telling you a little bit about where we are. First of all, you can go through this yellow caboose into the green Pullman troop car. You can see where World War II troops slept in their bunks. And then we have in the other part of the car a diorama or a model of what it looked like when 4 railroads came through North Judson. At one time there would be 125 steam-driven trains come through this town in a day. Now there are no through trains.
What were the 4 railroads?
There was the C&O, the Pennsylvania, the Erie, and I think the New York Central. So, a bit about this station. We built this station some years ago to the exact plans of the old Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad Station, and a few modifications for the passengers and so forth. Okay. And so that was like the old Chesapeake and Ohio station we had here. A little bit about the consist, which is the makeup of a train, the consist. We start with our Bessemer cupola caboose. Cupola caboose had a raised area up in the middle where the brakeman in the old days at the end of the train could overlook the train from the top. If he noticed anything wrong, like a hot box, which is overheated bearings or whatever, he could flag the engineer, or after they got radio signaling by radio that there was a problem. Our Bessemer caboose is going to be the lead car, so it's equipped with a headlight, its own air horn, and our conductor standing on the deck of the caboose, observing what we're seeing as if he were the engineer, and relaying by radio anything he needs to slow down, stop, whatever, to the engineer. The next car we have is the EJ&E, Elgin, Joliet, and Eastern Railroad's transfer caboose. Transfer cabooses were made by the railroads themselves, fabricated out of old troop cars, old box cars. They were designed to have a large deck on each end so that the workers could observe what activities were going on in the transfer of cars in the yard. Of course, it had a wood or later oil-burning stove where you see that pipe. That would keep the workers warm in the winter for sure. All cabooses were equipped with those kinds of heating stoves. Ours has a hydraulic lift for the combination of handicap. So anybody you know that you think might like to ride the train, wheelchair bound or not, we can take them. Those 2 horns means that the engine's going to be, we're pulling out. The engine sounds 2 horns for reverse, 1 horn to stop, 3 horns to go forward. And of course we'll be signaling at every crossing. The horn will be coming from, at the crossing, will be coming from the caboose. The car you're on is a KD or MKT, Missouri, Kansas, and Texas flat car. Before I finish, you might want to look at the signals. This wigwag is unusual. We have a great collection of signals here. This little shed is where we put the members who are on detention. We put them in there, shut them up in there, and turn on the stove. the Griselli switch tower, interlocking switch tower. It's complete with interlocking switches. We intend to hook it up to all our switches. It is a two-story building, of course, brought in from East Chicago a little over a year ago at the expense of $70,000. Had to bring it in two stories and put it back together. Take it down that way. Here on the ground you see a turntable. When put in the ground, we hope to do that over there. We'll turn the engine 360 degrees. Here's the last who belongs in the detention house. Let's go right ahead to our house, please. He dropped his chain. Anyway, we're going to put a small roundhouse out there if we get the manpower and the money. I encourage you to go into our back shop. You're welcome to look at the engines. You can see the blue and yellow stripes of the interlake steel switcher. We have our big steam engine in the back on this side, the 2789 Chesapeake and Ohio Kanawha or Berkshire type steam engine, a 284 wheel assembly. It's right here, and you're welcome to go in there, touch it, look at it. Maybe you can climb on it. I do. Finishing about this car. Black cars were used to haul equipment that would not fit in a box car, like big farm equipment, large electrical transformers, big trucks, whatever. You see trailers on black cars. This is a 60-footer. I told you it was a Katy Road. We got it from the South Shore. We painted it in its original colors because we try to return every car we restored to its original railroad livery. Livery is the color and logos of a particular railroad. And then over the winter we built this wooden facade that you're riding in now. A lot of hard work, members coming in 2-3 times a week, but it was fun and we got her done. You're welcome to go to the railings at any time. Horsepower, a diesel electric motor. It was built in 1947, which is the same year I was built. It's holding up much better. It has spare parts, and I'm looking. Now, all diesel engines are truly electric engines. Ours is 660 horsepower. They're up to 6,000 horsepower today on the major railroads. And those engines are just generating, and those motors are just generating electricity. The diesel electrics, get back to that. The electricity is generated by the big diesel power plant and transferred to electric traction motors that are mounted on the wheel sets. That's what drives the engine, electricity. Today, ever since the late 30s and 40s when diesels first came on the scene, they've been DC or direct current. But the modern diesels now, a lot of them, are changing over to AC or alternating current. It seems that AC gives them a better tractive or startup power. So those big trains you have to wait for at the crossing can now start with fewer engines, maybe 2 instead of 4. Now the AC is, I'm told, is a little less efficient in the long run, but by virtue of starting with less engines, you just have less fuel used overall, and you save money, and it's cheaper rate to ship goods. Let me know if it's the pass in front of you.
Go ahead.
clouds coming up on my side. We're over here. You're going to see a stand of trees. Now in the trees is a small old when we get past the trees, we'll be over to the Kankakee River itself. Any given time, any old days, could have been 3 steamers trucking across this river at the same time. 1 on this bridge, 2 on that bridge. Smoke belching. Hey, what's that? We're stopping just short of a hunting lodge, which was used by Marshall Field's executives. They were brought down on the Pennsylvania Railroad after a week of work on a Friday. That means stop. When you hear 3 horns, we're going forward. So he's been pretty smooth lately. But that lodge was used by those executives, and then they'd be dropped off on a Friday. They'd hunt and bend their arms, if you know what I mean, all weekend, and then Patsy would pick them up on Sunday, take them back up to Chicago. The last thing I have to tell you about is on the way back, looking upriver. Upriver on the Kankakee, immediately on the left, you'll see a nice big creek coming in. Also on the right is a big creek emptying in. But then there's a point of land. And on the opposite side, or the far side of the point of land, is the Yellow River. The Yellow River actually has yellowish water. And on a good sunny day, this looks like it might be bright enough, you can see yellow water on one side, green water on the other. That's the runoff that the Yellow River got its name for. And the trucks will be coming up again here. Now they're gone, they were there earlier. That's the Yellow River emptying in there. Volunteers, we pay a membership fee. You can be members. It's $25 for singles, $30 a year for family, and you get newsletters, 15% off rides and gift shop. And we're looking for working members. We all come down and work for nothing. We'd like more people to come down and work for nothing. The more people who work for nothing with us, the better. We're great people to work for nothing with. That's what I would say. What I'm going to do is come around and take your ticket stub. Thank you very much for writing.